Just want to give a heads up, unfortunately my camera is broken, so we're just going to have audio today. I'm hoping to have a camera up and running tomorrow, but just so you understand why there's no video, just audio. Listen, this season of Isekai is just incredible. There's so many returning greats and brand new entries that have blown us away, but I'ma say it. You have different opinions, you can have different opinions, but this is my channel. These are my opinions, and I'm saying, for me, this is the best episode of any Isekai I've seen so far this season. If you know how much I praise stuff like Mushoku Tensei, you know that's a big praise. I definitely kind of wish this was a 2-core, and maybe like every other episode we could have extended the growth of these characters. But even with that said, this father is my favorite character of the season. I thought by the end of the season, he'd kick the bucket, but to see his death, and rather than it just being like he comes back from the battlefield after a month and he's dead and is this big tearjerker, he actually got to say goodbyes. And the fact that he had one last night with his son and just had an actual father-son moment, like, bring your tissues and get ready to cry, man. This was one emotionally amazing episode, and while I don't know if I would call the show as a whole a masterpiece, this episode in particular definitely was one. I have full live reactions over on Patreon if you want to see my full and good thought to this or any of these Reincarnated as an Aristocrat episodes. Gonna be over there exclusively. They definitely baited me because I did watch the preview from episode 6 for what we're gonna have for episode 7. I thought it was just gonna be focused on the dad and them all in their big battle, and it looked exciting. And, you know, for the couple minutes we had at the start of the episode, it was, I mean, the explosions, the animation, it was incredible. And while I wasn't disappointed that the whole episode wasn't that, it definitely, I was like, okay, they gotta do something because the preview made it look way more exciting. But I'm gonna say it, I would take an emotional conversation with all of these characters over a big action episode any day of the week. And I think they did the perfect thing for this. Best episode of the show so far. And we are now in new uncharted territory because the show started off with the fire. I thought, honestly, it was like his mansion on fire. I thought it was like going to be a big war or something. No, it's the dad's death and his funeral. And the idea that ours is at an interesting point in his life where he's the man of the house. He now is the leader as well. Like, for a 12-year-old boy, I mean, that's not what most people would deal with. But I love the idea of what they did with ours, because with episode 6, his father tested him, right, in order to see if he was capable of going on the battlefield. And it wasn't this act of cruelty. It was, if you're gonna flinch and throw up or not be able to stomach a violent criminal's death, then there's no way you could deal with a war that's going to last a month or a big battle that's going to last for a month, right? There's just no way. And it's not that he was weak and pathetic. I mean, as the dad even said, I too had the same reaction when it was my first time. But I love the fact that this show isn't afraid to say, listen, we are going to show you sides of vulnerability that you don't always see, because usually your MC in a show like this doesn't have those insecurities and vulnerabilities, and if they do, they're done in such a way that it's hard to root them on because they do feel like, well, why are they even the MC? But ours is this interesting character because his main gimmick is that he has appraisal. He's perfect for a leadership, but is he ever going to be a swordsman like his dad? Probably not, but that's okay. He's surrounded by people who can compensate for maybe areas he doesn't have. But yes, he does have some growing to do before being able to be on a battlefield. And the idea that, you know, between Charlotte and Reitz and all these characters, the fact that, as the dad says, when ours first brought all of them, you come from a group of people that, you know, this area doesn't like. You're a woman, you're a kid. You know, it's bluntly stated, but all things considered, he had a very tame reaction to ours trying to bring these retainers aboard than most fathers would in this world. You have to look at the time period and the culture and how things are. But the fact that he's looking at them not only just as like, I'm so glad you're here, but it almost felt like he was saying, like, he's more of a father than just to ours. Because when you look at them all reflecting on these moments between Charlotte and Reitz and all of them, it felt like it wasn't just ours who lost a father that day. They all did. Because he was a genuinely kind person. He had responsibilities. He couldn't just listen to his son saying, well, I want to help this person. It's like, okay, but you can't just help everyone you see. Like, that's unfortunately not how the world works. And also, why would we bring someone like this aboard our army? And the fact that the funeral is this very interesting blend of bittersweet. where it is a tearjerker. It is depressing, but it's also oddly beautiful. And I think his fiance says a brilliant thing about this, is like, you know, almost speaking to the soul, the ghost of the father, being like, you know, hopefully it's not disrespectful, but like, she's so happy to be here in this moment because you're seeing ours rise above. The fact that he's able to give such a powerful speech at his father's death, not because he's glad his dad's dead and he gets power, but you can generally tell how much he meant to him, but the fact that they're left in good hands. The execution of this episode's called Successor or something. I knew something BS was happening, but they baited me in. I was like, oh wait, no, he actually made it back from the battle. Maybe he has a couple more months, but he'll pass the torch. And unfortunately, no. But the fact that they let him have a conversation with each of the retainers, but then not just give a simple conversation with ours, they stayed up all night. The idea of the teacups stacking together because of all the tea they were drinking. The fact that he had one last father-son moment and his dad could leave knowing that his son has grown up. These are the types of moments that are just so special in an isekai anime. It's beautiful. It's emotional, it's brilliant, and ours as a character alongside his retainers are just wonderful characters that don't fit into an archetype or a stereotype. They feel like their own individual persons. And the fact that, yes, can you make some comments about maybe Charlotte's eye candy? Of course you could. But I don't think most people are gonna look at Charlotte as just the eye candy. She legitimately has become an interesting character. And there's something about this show that I hope it gets multiple seasons. I thought we would finish this moment near the end of the season, or maybe episode 9 or 10. So the fact that we still have 5 episodes or so to see where we go in this new uncharted territory has me really excited, but this was an emotionally draining episode that I wouldn't change a thing. The only thing I would have changed is that I wish it was a 2-core and maybe we could have had more episodes in between these just to see more, but brilliant. Beautiful, tearjerker, it's just everything you would want to see. I don't know what's in the water, especially this year, but the fantasy genre is doing so much better than usual. Like, these are the types of shows that are like, oh, they're fun if you like them, but you're not gonna write home. But I'm legitimately writing home. I think the writing is incredible. This episode in specific is a masterpiece level episode, and even if I don't think the show as a whole is as of yet, we're still, like, this was just the prologue. This was 7 episodes of a prologue, and honestly, man, like, I like ours a lot as a character. The dad, hands down, my favorite character of the season, and I'm very distraught that he's no longer around, but in such a short amount of time, because it's not like he was always in an episode or he had a long amount of time per episode. They utilized this man flawlessly to seem stern but compassionate, and I'm gonna miss this man, and I wasn't ready. Let me know what you thought down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course ring that bell so you can know if I want to upload more, and like I mentioned, got those full live reactions over on Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. Alrighty, so today we have Steven, Zoun He, Delvic D, and Dufabius, so I appreciate the support everyone, please take care and have a good one.